Mike? Hello, can you hear me? Yes. Hi everybody, my name is Cristian Lungarotti. I'm the head of the economic section here at the embassy in Berlin. Thank you for being here. I just wanted to welcome you. We have a large group of startups and investors and some people also coming from incubator, accelerator. We are really very pleased that we managed today to arrange this event. All of you, you know much better than I, your sector, innovation, startups. Everybody, all the sectors, they are suffering for the pandemic, especially in the past months. We really wanted to have the occasion to meet in person with you, with the companies, with the environment, innovation environment from Berlin, because it's crucial, you know perfectly that business relationship, especially regarding young companies, is based on trust and is based on personal contact, and you can have as many pitch online as you like, but the opportunity which networking, informal talks or side discussion can give is very precious. So there are several investors here which I thank for joining us. They know that when they invest in a startup, they can like the idea, but mainly they invest in the people. This is the key element of every startup and of every investment. So this is really an added value to be here today. I don't want to waste too much of your time. We have nine very interesting startups to present today. So I would like to call Andrea Del Piaz. He will be the moderator for your session, and we decided to have like 5 minutes of presentation, then a few minutes for Q&A if anybody wants to raise a question on the person, on the business model, whatever you like. Short information for the rest of the program. After this session, 3 to 5 p.m., 5:30 to 7:30, we will have a double panel where large corporations, startups, medium company, they will discuss about especially the topic of sustainability and open innovation. So cooperation between small, medium company, young entrepreneurs, especially for the topic of sustainability. And after, if you like to stay, we will have a dinner here at the residency of the ambassador. So thank you, Andrea, and I hope you will enjoy the pitch. Bye-bye. Thank you.
It's an honor for me to be here. Thanks for inviting me and all the startups to the embassy. Well, here today is just a part of a lot of initiatives that we have done in these 2 days. So yesterday we arrived here. We first see this beautiful embassy, and we met with some key relevant speakers and people from the startup Berlin ecosystem. For example, we met the Senate Department for Economy and Technology. We met the Global Goal Directory, and then we visited also the Kitchen Town, Atlantic Labs today, and the Reactor. And then we are back here for one of the part of this the week of Italian cuisine, which is the pitches of 9 startups. We selected these startups, of course, together with the embassy, together with the Future Food Institute, and they represent very different part of the innovation ecosystem in the food tech and agri-tech space in Italy. Well, you will listen to 9 pitches. Each of these pitch will last for 5 minutes, and then you will have 3 to 5 minutes for questions. So, of course, if you want to make some questions, you can immediately do it after the pitch. We thought to have a short pause between the first 5 startups, which mainly deal with agri-tech. We'll do a short pause, just 5 minutes, and then again 4 other startups, which will mainly deal with the food tech space. Well, just a couple of words. We had the opportunity, thanks to the embassy, to strengthen some relationships with the meetings we had in these 2 days. And of course, today now, it's part of it. So we're very happy that the startups can talk to you, to every component of this very rich and inspiring startup ecosystem here in Berlin. We are also here to learn, as Doc3, for example, which is a program from the Roma Tre University. We are here to learn from a much mature, more mature ecosystem compared to Italy, and we are very we would like to mind the gap and to catch the gap, which it is between the Berlin startup ecosystem and the Roman startup ecosystem. Only another note, you will listen to startups which have very different kind of matureness, especially, for example, you will listen to some startups which have already collected a couple of millions in terms of investments, and you will also listen to some startups which just incorporated 2 months ago. So there are a lot of differences, but we think that this is also another part of the richness of this meeting. Of course, a lot of them are based, relies on technology. Another interesting thing is that 7 out of 9 startups that you will listen today are based on product. Not software, but product. Also, they also have a software, of course, and 2 startups are based on software. I think that's all for now, so I'm very honored to call the first startups. Please, Enrico Abbati, CFO. Yes, of course, you can remove the mask as soon as you reach the stage. You can take the clicker. And Enrico is the CFO and co-founder of Earth Automation. Please, Enrico.
It's okay. Thank you for first to the embassy and to the Future Food Institute for this opportunity, and obviously to 3D to moderate this event. So Earth Automation, we are doing autonomous robot for agriculture. So we are 3 different co-founders with different skills. So I am from finance, after we have Luigi from robotics, and the third one is mainly on agriculture. So what we want to do is to create an ecosystem solution to enable the sustainability of agricultural company, thanks to data collection and autonomous operational synergy. So till today, we have won already some prize. I think one of the most important one is the EIMA. So that is the second main event about agricultural machinery in Europe, the first one in Italy, and we replied to 4 of the 17 objectives of ONU for 2030. What we have discovered is that 56% of accidents, of mortal accidents in agriculture, are still caused by the overturning of the tractor. Another thing is the lack of sustainability. So for this reason, agriculture is still the first voice of the balance sheet of European Commission. And we found in this company repetitive industry-aging activity that we think that we can avoid. So what we do, we bring an operator at a safety distance, 30% on operational cost, and labor force applied in high-value activity. How we do that? We do it thanks to Dude. Dude is a patent robot tractor, crawled robot, enabled with artificial intelligence, IoT, and thanks to that, he can work 24 hours, 7 days of not interrupted operation. This is the potential. And we have an end user always monitor and support. This today is diesel because we think that today this reply to the request from our market, but we can do it already. Electric. These are 6 of our logics that we apply. This is our artificial intelligence that is one of the main different from competitor, that we are the only one that do artificial intelligence to move the machine. Why Dude? We have one instrument that do multiple operations today in the farms. There are multiple robots that do or perform single operation, or they are verticalized on one single kind of vegetation. We are, with Dude, one robot that performs multiple operations thanks to the 3-point inch and PDO that is still the same of tractor today. So these are two of the main competitors that we can find today in the market. We have Roboti and Agi Exit. Compared to them, we are the only one that have won the EMA, and we are for both, so for orchard and arable. Instead, our competitor can go only on arable. And as I say, we are the only one that do artificial intelligence to move the machine inside the fields. But why the customer will gonna choose Dude? Because Dude bring value. We are talking about 700 euro savings per hectare per year. So we can estimate that in 2 years, a company of 100 hectares can repay the investment. And so this is an analysis on the operation that can be automatized with Dude. We have already 9 letters of intent, and we are signed already the first contract. So our business model is going to be mainly through indirect sales. So we are already, opening our network. We have already 1 dealer that is supporting us in Calabria, and 2 others already in discussion with us. So this is a bit our roadmap. So today we have just won and presented the product on the EMA. And so the next step will going to be to develop better our e-skills, so verticalize the artificial intelligence to the different kind of cultivation. And further of that, we will gonna increase production and the product portfolio, and we will try also to open to a SaaS model that thanks to the e-skills that we will develop thanks to the first pre-series of 5 robots that will gonna be the pre-series that we are today signing. So this is the team. So we have Fausto Quintieri, that is the CDI president. So it's the one that is bringing the agriculture of soul in this company. After we have me, that we are more CFO and business development. We have Luigi, that is our CDO. Alessio, that is our software developer, is 3 years that is working on our artificial intelligence. And after Franco Abadi, that is supporting on the dealer network development. This is already also our advisory committee, but I think I have ended my time. So thanks a lot for your time and for the attention. Thanks a lot. So question?
Yeah, I was asking the same question. If you have a question, please feel free. I was particularly surprised when I first saw the image. I thought it was something very small, and then I discovered it's a very big machine.
It's quite heavy. It's 3 tons of machine, so it's quite heavy as kind of machine. Yeah. So it's 2 meter and 3 meter. There was the characteristic. I'm not so good with memory. So any question, I can support or give more information. Yeah, sure. Okay, till today we have invested 350,000 euro. So, but was mainly our support, exactly, to develop that. So our intention for the future will gonna be to start directly with the fundraising of 5 million, with the sales started already. So this will gonna be, I hope, on May 2022.
Is the manufacturing done by the company itself, or do you outsource the manufacturing process?
Today we have the capability to build 30 tractors per month, in the year. And but obviously it depends on the request. We are already in contact with different big corporate of the tractor ecosystem. So we are trying to understand with them which kind of cooperation we can do. So also the side of improving our capacity on production side.
But the first 5 are done by yourself?
Yeah,
okay.
By ourselves, yeah.
Thank you.
If no other question, okay.
Alberto?
I didn't get if this tool can be used also in a different industry apart from agriculture.
Yeah, it's true that we are today working to extrapolate our vision model that is used in the machine and try to understand how we can apply this tool also in other kind of sector. We have already some requests from the defense sector. So we are presented a call to NATO with rain metal today. Thanks for the question.
Thank you.
Well, if you don't have any other question, thank you Enrico again. And please welcome on stage Damiano Angelici, CEO and co-founder of Alle. Sorry. If you can have, I think so, I definitely think so. He was asking if they can have the presentation afterwards. All of them. I definitely think so. I think maybe the embassy can help us. Yeah, of course.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you for the opportunity, also to the embassy. And it's a very pleasure to be here today. And nice to meet you to everyone. I'm Damiano Angelici, CEO and co-founder of Italian. In Italian, what we do that is focused on preventing disease for olive oil and wine trees. Personally, I come from a family that has been producing olive oil from over 1 century in the center of Italy. For this reason, I can tell you that every year the farmers have to face this problem. The first one is normal that everyone of us know, is the climate change. The farmers every year have different conditions, different seasons, and they have obsolete tools to understand what happened to the field. They use the tools that used my grandfather or 15 years ago, and they are not able to understand what happened to the field. The result is that they lost a lot of crop, a lot of production, and the harvest is a nightmare. And at the end, they are not compliant with the new policy of European Union. So they are not sustainable in terms of pesticide use, in terms of fertilizer use, water needs, and so on. For this reason, we have built Italian. And what we've done with our solution, we have developed a system of hardware that collects data into the field. All this data arrive in our web app, and what we do is that we cross all this data through the mathematical model and algorithms. The result is that we are able to make prediction of disease. So we send an alert at the farmer and say, hey man, in 7 days you will have this percentage of attack of this disease. So we suggest to make or not make a treatment. And the result is that they have agriculture 4.0, so they are super compliant with the UE and with all the problem that we have to face. So climate change, pesticide use, and so on. But look at it in details. What we do, from one end, we have the hardware that collects data with the meteo station. We have also historical data in terms of climate and stationary data. For stationary data, I'm telling you about altimetry, latitude, longitude, and so on. Consider that we analyze around 15 variables each hour, and through our mathematical model, we send a decision support system and we say, okay, it's the right moment to make a treatment, and they have a very huge benefits that we will see in a few seconds. So what is our unique selling proposition? That we are not just data, we are not just detection, but we make prediction. And we are able to have a ROI, a real ROI for our farmer. Because in advance of an average of 7 days, we give you an overview of your condition in the field. This is the disease that we analyze. We analyze 10 common diseases, 5 for olive oil and 5 for wine. And we also use satellite imaging for water and food needs for the trees. The benefits. The benefits are really, really important. Consider that on average, we reduce the cost up to 30% per year for our customers. And in this way, they are able to save time, money, and they are able to have a reduction in terms of CO2 emission and in terms of sustainability impact. The remote control nowadays is common in all the sector, but not in agriculture. With our system, the farmer can analyze the condition in each part of the world in where they are. So, the market, switch on the business part. The market is very huge. We are speaking about 1.5 billion of euros of market. And over the 50% of this market is concentrated between Italy and Spain, and the 75% of this market is in Europe. Because we are the first one and we are the first player in the South European market, because we have a strong validated product and we are really focused on olive oil and wine. We have millions of data that through artificial intelligence and machine learning, we are able to improve the system every year. We are the best one, but we are not a pronunciation by ourselves. This is the number. In the last 3 years, we grew 3x year over year. This year, we will close the turnover with more or less 500,000 of revenue. And 3 years ago, we are speaking about 50K per year. What is the main achievement that we have done until today? We raised around 2 million of capital from VC and business angel. We have a fully product validated in olive oil market. In 2019, we started in wine, and this year we launched the solution for almond trees. We have a sales team that is already validated in Italy and Spain, and we have a growth year over year of 3x. So we are ready to scale. All of this, for sure, is possible thanks to our team. There is me and Giovanni, that we are the co-founder. We are friends until the university time. And right now, we have competence inside the company from agronomists, marketing, sales, IT, administrative, and so on. Our team is between Rome and Madrid. And in the next year, we will do a Series A round because our vision is to be the first player in the Mediterranean area in olive oil, fruit, and almond tree of precision farming. So thank you for the time, and I give you my contact here.
Thank you, Damiano. Questions? I break the ice and do... okay, please.
If in your plan, there is the possibility of giving the same service also to other kind of products, like chestnut or whatever, because I think the problem is not only for those three kind of...
Our strategy and our solution is vertical and focus on the trees cultivation. So, for example, the olive oil and wine have different phenological phase or different growth stage, but they are trees. So, more or less, is the same family. The same one is the almond, and in the future we will open for all the trees. So, we have planned to open also the fruits cultivation.
Okay, thank you.
One question: how often you have to change your algorithm? Is it something permanent, or there are a lot of changes? And you
right now we are around at the 12th generation of algorithms, and we reach around 96% of precision compared with the real situation into the field, and is a test that we have done with the University of La Sapienza. So right now the R&D is quite close.
I don't know, maybe I didn't see it, but this number of 96% in the prediction, this is something I would recommend to fit in the presentation.
I don't know,
maybe I didn't see, but
5 minutes.
that is very impressive.
Yeah, thank you. Consider to give you a little bit of information, at the beginning is around 60%. So we improve a lot. For this reason, we have millions of data that are analyzed with machine learning, with AI, and the result is the 96%. Thank you. There is another question, I think.
What is actually the science behind the sensor? Like, is it only data focused, or do you have some sensors in the soil and in the atmosphere or something?
Are only the sensor of climate data. So we buy the sensor from a third party. Is not our core business, because our core business is to sell the software, and the service is not the selling the sensor. Yeah. Some other question?
Okay, thanks, Damiano. Maybe there is a last question.
Is your focus mainly to reduce the pesticide spraying, or could it also be to avoid it?
Is to avoid the use of pesticide, but consider that if you have a strong infestation into the field, it's quite impossible to don't use it. So consider that the 70% of our company are in an ecological production, so they are not using pesticide from chemicals, but natural or ecological pesticides. Okay. So this is very important, because when you don't use chemicals product, you have not the same strong of the unnatural product. So for this reason, we say when is only really necessary the product, and we don't recommend a product, because in this way we are super partners respect other industry like chemicals or pesticide use.
On to the last question. I think you could improve your sensor system if you cooperate with people who have sensors on the ground. They exist already.
For sure, because consider that, for example, in the next year, we have a collaboration with photo traps. So we say at the farmer, 7 days in advance, we will have the 5% of infestation of olive oil fly, for example. And after 7 days, we arrive the information from the photo traps and say there are 4, 5, or 6 olive oil fly into the traps. And so in this way, we are able to integrate our system with the other one, because we believe that for the farmer, the technology will be a very helpful instrument, and not something that is crazy that you need to open 10 app or other stuff. So, yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Damiano.
Thank you.
So, next team, Enrico Carta, CEO and co-founder of Cinomis. We stay again in the agri-tech space, again in the data monitoring, and please, Enrico.
Okay. I will start this speech with a question to you all. How many times you can hold your breath? Maybe 30 seconds, 1 minute? I don't know. Let's try all together now, okay? Let's start. 10 seconds. I ask only 10 seconds, okay? Now. Okay, now we can breathe. Now we are in the countryside of Cremona, in the north of Italy. We have a river, some trees, fresh air to breathe. But according to the European Commission, this is the second city by pollution in all Europe. Maybe you prefer have a breath here with me. We are always in Cremona, in the countryside of Cremona. Why I told you that? Because in Cinomis we have a motto. We can't improve that if you can't measure that. It's a famous phrase made by Lord Voldemort. No, I'm joking. It's Lord Kelvin, the physics that invented the Kelvin degrees. And what we want to improve in Cinomis? We want to improve animal welfare, absolutely. We want to improve the quality of the environment, and also the food safety. And so we start from the air. We start from the air. We put the air first. We are the only patented IoT solution for animal farming. We're monitoring the harmful gases We're monitoring the greenhouse gases and also the physical parameters inside the stable, because the environmental parameters affecting animal welfare and also the environment. And we made it because our customer decreased the mortality, increased the productivity of the farms, and also are nearby to be antibiotic-free. And in this slide, you can see some of our customers and partners. There are some companies in the food industry. There are some companies in the pharmaceutical industry and in the nutrition industry. And now is the time to move ahead. We open now a second round of investment, and we are looking for 6 million of investment, 5 million in equity, and 1 million in debt. We are in touch with 2 venture capitalists, one in Italy and one abroad Italy. And why invest in Cinomis? Because our strength is the people. We are only 3 people with an employee, and we reach all this goal. We have an international patent. We have an industrial device that we produce in our productivity site. We have a certified lab inside our productivity site. We sold 160 devices in 9 countries. We have 100% of conversion of our customer, and also we are nearby to reach the break-even. Thank you all. If you have any questions.
Curiosity, how much does it cost?
The system depends on the parameters that the customer wants to measure. We start from 1 to 2,000 euros for devices.
And they buy, or they can also rent the service?
Sorry?
They have to buy, or they can just rent the service?
Yeah, generally we rent the device, because annually we come back to all the device for recalibration and change the sensor and so on.
Okay, thank you.
Do you have strong competitors in this area?
The competitors are mainly some industry that produces some probes for single parameters, for such ammonia or methane or CO2. And there is also some companies that start now to try to do something like us, but for now, without success, because their customer come to us for the product.
Any other question? I'm curious to know, what are the countries you are currently in?
We sell in Italy, France, Spain, Germany, USA, Mexico, Austria, and from next year also Australia.
Okay, hopefully in Germany too. Well, thank you, Enrico.
Okay, thank you too.
And please welcome on stage Jacopo Teodori, CEO and co-founder of WorldFarm.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Yeah, I think so. Nice to see you. I want to start saying thanks to the Italian Embassy in Berlin and to Doctre for the invitation. It's really a big pleasure and honor to be here, an opportunity to present our startup. I will try to be fast and on time in the 5 minutes, but I will be more than pleased to answer to the question at the end. So, I'm me, Jacopo Teodori, the co-founder of WorldFarm. So I have to introduce you to the world of hydroponics. And I hope and guess that all of you already know about it. It's a technology to grow plants out of soil. It means that you can reduce the water waste, you don't need pesticide, you don't have problem of seasonality, and moreover, you can increase the quantity and rapidly to grow plants. Thanks to all these advantages is the technology behind vertical farming. I know InFarm, that's from Berlin. It's an important startup, and I guess we will be useful for them. Then the legal cannabis that, if I'm not wrong, 2 or 3 days ago were legalized here in Germany too. The indoor farming, so you reduce the problem of seasonality, and the shelf farming to grow plants directly at your house. That's the fourth sector, and at the end I will tell you that we are already working on that. But why it's not spread all over the world? Because it needs a lot of human labor and expertise to grow plants. The grower daily need to control the pH and the EC. The EC is the electroconductivity of the water. After the control, you have to put the regulators. It means nutrients and pH regulator, so pH up or pH down. Moreover, you have to be sure that the probes are working properly. So you have to calibrate that, control what are the parameters, and that's a huge work because you have to do it mainly every day. It's time to change and to make it easy to spread all over the world. We create LIA, Lean Intelligent Agriculture. This is a robot, an hardware, a product physically. We produce it, we realize it, and we are finalizing the industrialization. It's composed of 4 different modules: the analysis, the doser, the deviator, and the water meter. Those are the elements. All of them are already patent or patent pending. We have the analysis, the first product, and our first patent is about auto-calibration of the probes. The doser is where it's related to another patent licensed by our investors, and it gives the exact quantity of nutrients that you are using to the user and the possibility to reorder the right nutrients when he wants, also before, so without waiting or without having problem of that. Then we have the deviator, so we can grow different plants. We have the differentiation to grow, because many of the growers usually grow different plants, so you can do it thanks to our technology without buying 10 different analyses, but just one analysis and one deviator. The water meter is just to be precise, so we know exactly how much water is inside the tank of your hydroponic system. I'd say that, yeah. The dash is the technology behind the patent, so to be sure that the nutrients that you are using is certified, verified, and is appropriate to work. And then you can do the reordering. There is a, yep, all right. And of course, all of that is organized and controlled by a software and a firmware that's visible and usable by web or mobile, where you can control and check all the data. The business model, this is the razor and blades. So we sell the robot, the machine, but we have the recurring revenue to the nutrients. It means that the distributor, that our key customer, is interested in selling our product because then he will receive the money from the nutrients. I will explain if you want in a question. Market size, it's really big because this is just the market about cannabis, so consider how much big can be also, because this is not spread all over the world. We can increase a lot. And then we have the value of the nutrients. Then this is the competitors. As you can see, we innovate all the parameters, all the level, and we are also working a lot on that. This is the milestone. I have to run fast because I see that time is finished, but okay, this is the starting. So we started in 2015. In 2018, we collect the first 235,000 euro as a seed round from venture capital, angel, business angel, and corporate in Italy. Now we are here. That means that we reach other 100,000 in January 2020, and we are looking for 600,000 to complete the industrialization, to produce the first 200 units of product that are already sold to the distributors in USA. The call to action is that one. The 60% is already closed, so we are looking for less than 600, but let's see. And the user fund is mainly for the industrialization. Let's see. This is the financial plan. I will be there. The ongoing project, as I mentioned, we are already working on these 4 sectors. We are following the SDGs because all of our product is realized by that. This is the team. I'm the CEO. I have Giulio Caselli, an industrial designer for more of 5 years of experience. The industrial engineer informatics, Then we have an expert grower, and those are our investor and partner. We are able to produce a lot of products, so help us. This is the other feature, because we can also apply our technology, thanks to our patent, in other business, like fish farming, water analysis, swimming pools. Thanks for the attention. You can scan this and contact me. Oh, I'm here.
Thank you. Questions?
I don't bite, I have already eaten.
I have a question. Oh, okay, please, Christian.
No, just not a question, but as an information. I read yesterday there was a new coalition for the German government. One of the points is the free selling of cannabis. So this will, I see that you're active in that sector, so this is a good occasion to open your office here in Berlin.
Yeah, sure, why not? Yeah, we are here for that too.
I've seen that you mentioned the Sustainable Development Goals in one of your slides, but the time was running, so you went very quick. But I'm curious to know something more about it, also because in the following session we will talk about sustainability too.
Yeah, if I can see the slide, it's easier also for them to understand what are, I don't know if it's just like, no?
Yeah, no, okay, maybe we can ask to put again the slides.
Just not the last one, but yeah, it's easier, but I can also, yeah, thank you, it's okay, I will do it like that. If you are, okay, yeah, just to be helped by the image in behind me. Yeah, the first one is obviously, because in 2050 we will be more than how much we are now, so we need to feed them, and the 80% of the land are already busy, and the problem is also that the soil is not so good as it was, because it was a little bit overstressed. So we help to grow plants also in place where the food is not so obvious, like we are. Then we reduce the water waste, and we take control of the water, so the number 6, also because we take control now of pH and DC, but we are also working for other sensors to connect with our product. Then the 9 is about innovation, so it's a little bit trivial to talk about that, because we have 4 patents. Then the sustainability and the city, because we think, and our vision is that in the future, all of us will have their own greenhouse at home. And like Steve Jobs said, any of you will have a personal computer at home. I think that in the future, all of you, I hope so, have their own garden. Moreover, the 12, because thanks to our technology of the dash, we take care of all the lifetime of the cartridges, so there is no problem of plastic or something like that. And the climate action is, of course, related to what I said. Thank you.
Any other question? I'll do another one. Again, I'm curious to know about your funding round, since I know that you are about to close one round. Something is moving, so I would like to know something more about it.
With a big pleasure, also because thanks to the embassy, we visited a lot of accelerator and incubator, and I heard about huge money and a huge investment. We had a lot of difficulties in Italy to close it, because it's not so easy to reach the investment. As you see, until now we get 490,000 euro. We are now looking for 600,000, and we already have the previous investor who are ready to follow up and to continue their investment to finish our evolution and to get in the market. And yes, it's almost the 60% already covered, but we can discuss. I'm really open, and it could be really interesting to have a German investor on board, also related to what said about the legal cannabis, but also about in-farm, so about the evolution of also looking at the the meteo. Of course, today it's a little bit cloudy, but it's better to grow in indoor farming. Will be. So this is the story. I don't know if I can explain better. They are scared.
Okay, thank you, Jacopo. Next startups is Service Biotech, and we have Salvatore Del Prete presenting it. Salvatore now is telling us something which is slightly different from agritech, because he will talk us about new materials. Please, Salvatore.
Good morning. I'm Salvatore Del Prete, CEO of Service Biotech. I present to you my product that's a BioPack. It's a product made with agricultural buster material, fiber reinforced with mycelium and coated in bioplastic. So, in accordance with the agenda, European Agenda 2030, we know that plastic wrappers must be banned. So we must substitute it with some environmental friendly product. The aim, our aim, the aim of the European community is sustainability in economic, environmental, and social field. So, we think that we center this objective because we can use all kind of VASTA in total low concept. Low impact on environmental, low impact on cost of production. And our proposal is an implementation mushroom technology. We propose BioPack total reusable. What's the features? Features are acoustic insulator, thermal insulator, but also pressure resistance. It gives pressure resistance by the bioplastic coating. The first potential market is packaging. The green claims in the 2020 for packaging is 10 billion euros. The other market, potential market, is buildings for disposable cash and thermal acoustic insulator. And the luxury market. In the last 2 years, market of luxury for wine growing up and do a value of 5 million euro. So we think that our BioPack could improve with the reinforcement of brands. Our competitor, they are not structured stability with, like as our product, and they are not customizing all your needs. ROI strategy is on revenues by the sales of package and also a reinforcement of the brand. This is our roadmap. In the 2022, we want to make the first installation of our industry to produce BioPack. This is our business. Packaging in the first year, 11,000 of pack, 2,000 of panel for a building, and 600 pieces for design, with in 3 years 1.5 million euros for revenues. This is our team's biotechnological expertise characterize us. We ask for 800K to go in goals. These are our partnership. Also some municipalities to take raw materials. Why to invest in us? Because we believe that our product is real green, respect cradle-to-cradle philosophy. That's, and another important thing that we construct on your needs the product, okay? On your VASTA, if you are an agricultural industry. Believe in us because I believe in this product.
Thank you, Salvatore. Thank you, Salvatore. Yeah, let's see if you have some questions.
Which countries are you selling already?
We are a young startup, so we take some according with municipalities of Cilento, that is Campania in Italy. And we construct the first prototype and the first MVP to go on market. Mm-hmm. Just we need just a little bit time to go on market because the product is ready.
Mm-hmm. So proof of market is still pending. Yeah. I understand. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, so, sure. At the beginning, you have
That's
to start.
Sure. I don't say lie.
Yeah. The 800K you wanted to raise, is there a certain ticket size? So, how much can an investor invest in you at the minimum so that you collect investors? For example, the 800 could be divided into 50K
yes,
business angels.
For going in market, our goal is 800K, but there's not problem to make a cord of investors. Some people that are, some industries that are interested in the product can follow this idea, because we are in the C2C philosophy, and it's total green. There's not plastic in this product. This is the important, this is the aim and the future, I think. It's just my thing, it's my...
Yeah, biodegradable packaging is one of the key issues we have right now. Yeah. You explained it very well. Okay. So I think cooperation with already existing wood or other companies who do that already
yes, there's a lot
could be very interesting for you.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other question? Well, so thank you, Salvatore. And with this part, we now conclude the first part of the pitch session. So it's 5-minute break. We will meet again at 4:20 p.m. in 5 minutes. And we will talk about footech. So see you in a while. We just give you, let's wait for,
Okay, yes.
for some second, so that if there is someone outside can come inside. Okay, so welcome again. We are now talking about food tech. Well, of course, sometimes the borders are quite not so straight, and in fact, we are now talking about fermentation. So there is a agriculture and agri-tech part, of course, also in this part. We will have two startups talking about fermentations. And about alcohol, also because we are going from the coffee to the cocktail part. And so I am going to leave the word to Pierfrancesco Mazzolini, who is the CEO and co-founder of Easttime.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Pierfrancesco Mazzolini, CEO and co-founder of Easttime, and today I will present you our solution. So I wanted to start with a bet. I bet that most of you people here present today have consumed at least one fermented product in the last 24 hours. So let's refresh our minds and review together which are the main fermented products that there are now in the market. So most of you know wine and beer, but also yogurt and coffee are fermented products, and they wouldn't taste as good if it wouldn't have been thanks to fermentation. So since our establishment in the last 3 months, we have focused on the market of the brewing industry, which present a total estimated value of 600 billion euros. The German industry is 22% of the total European market with 45 billions. So what is the main problem that both small players and big players have in the market? The problem is time. So why time is such a huge issue in the fermentation process? Why do these players tend to spend millions and millions just to save minutes or seconds over time? Time is a problem in the fermentation process because it takes up over 40% of the total energy demand. Time is a problem because it's associated to huge ecological impact. And time is a problem because, as many of you know, time is money. So here is where Easttime intervenes. We intervene directly on the yeast, bringing it to its optimum, and we reduce time by 30%. How do we do this? We do this through a device that we have engineered and developed, which leverages ultrasound and is based on solid scientific research. Here is an infographic representing our solution, which is based on a microcontroller and an ultrasound generator, which sends the signals directly to the fermented product. All of this system is then connected to our personalized cloud, which delivers to our client a personalized infographic of real-time monitoring of what is happening inside of the fermentation. Our team is composed by Federico Ortensi, Industrial Biotechnologies, which knows inside out of fermentation, by Alessandro and Luca, our engineers, which will combine both hardware and software solutions to our product, and by me, business developer, who will position our solution in the best way possible in the market. So in just 3 months, we won the Doc3 Startup Lab program. We established our startup. We developed and validated our solution for 30-liter fermenters. We delivered our patent application, and we signed a research partnership for a PhD program with University of Tor Vergata and Birra da Mare Consortium under the multinational Molson course. Our revenue model is based on a licensing model, where we grant our client the use of our intellectual property rights, and we meet the client and set up the key parameters of the whole cycle of interest. So on average, small to medium-sized breweries produce 1 million liters a year. We aim to increase this productivity by 30% and monetize on a percentage of total estimated savings thanks to our solution. We position ourselves in a competitive landscape where our competitors based either on automation of the process or on time reduction. We are the only solution right now which fuses both of these key parameters. So by January 2022, we aim to start our first testing in a brewery. By March, we want to integrate our software solution. By May 2022, we want to scale up our model to 100-liter fermenters. By June, we want to sign our first client. And by December, we want to install 600 working devices. To do this and meet our needs, we asked for 200,000 euros to allocate mainly on research and development. So why is the time to invest on us? Now is the time to invest on yeast time because our solution is backed up by solid research, because our team is perfectly competent and well-balanced, because we have high margins of scalability, and because by investing on us, you will make a positive impact on the environment. Remember, now is the time to invest because Germany owns 22% of the total European market. Thank you. This was Pier Francesco Mazzolini for Yeast Time.
Please.
I have a couple of questions, but first for clarification. At the beginning, you said you reduce costs, but then you said you increase revenue. So what's actually the impact on both sides, on the cost side or on the revenue side?
Yes, we aim to reduce time, so reducing costs both on the energy impact and on the ecological impact and the total time reduction on the cycles of fermentation. Okay. So on average, fermentation takes 15 days, and it's 2 cycles a month. So we aim to increase this productivity by 30%, so to have in a month 1 extra fermentation.
Okay. And then do you have some calculation of what's the cost versus investment for a client?
So we are in an early stage moment. So we have a prototype, which for us costs on a range of 80 to 100 euros to produce. But we can later discuss in more depth the revenue solutions we haven't analyzed yet.
Okay, thank you.
Just one remark. You said you are patented, and afterwards you said your application is just running. So please avoid to say patented, because that means that the patent officer says, yes, it's a patent. Okay. You have 1 year runway normally. Yeah, so you only write like the group before did it correctly, right? Patent pending, never patented, because that really brings the investor to the wrong idea. Okay?
Thank you for the remark.
Any other question for this time? Okay. Thank you, Pier Francesco.
Thank you.
And I welcome on stage Matteo Fornaca, co-founder of The Spiritual Machine.
Thank you. And thank you to the embassy, and thank you, Andrea, because I already found many partners for our projects in the pitches before. So good evening, everybody. My name is Matteo. I'm one of the founders of The Spiritual Machine. And our adventure started in 2015 when we developed our first spirit, a vermouth, actually. And we had to face 2 big challenges. So the first one was a time to market, which is pretty long, and the second is an investment, which is quite consistent. So basically, we found ourselves in a market which is extremely big. So this is the global market size, and where there is not much innovation, but where all studies on trends say that the personalization and custom productions are the future. So to give an example, with the market of beers that was mentioned before, the production of craft beer passed from 5 million barrels in 2005 to 25 million barrels in 2019. And now the market share in the US is almost 14%. And the studies suggest that the spirits are following the same direction. So basically, with the Spiritual Machine, we have this solution. So thanks to our innovative process, we can create spirits in a fast, safe, and affordable way. This means going from the idea to the market in just 1 month. So we had a 2 years R&D process that led us to the creation of 40 blends, starting from 150 botanicals. And the combination of these blends is what enables us to create spirits in just as short as 1 month. Today, our clients are bar, restaurants, hotels, wine producers, distilleries, and with us, they can basically create their product and have their 100% personalized product. The result in Italy is impressive. So we have a customer acquisition cost of approximately 700 euros versus a lifetime value of almost 20,000. This is calculated on real clients, and it's really in evolution. We have a very good reorder rate, and here you can also see that typically our clients have a small first batch, and then it is multiplied in the second and the third batch. This is our growth. So from 2019, 2021, we're approximately having 3 per year over year. And this should be seen, these figures, keeping in mind that most of our clients' businesses were badly affected by the pandemic. And here you see why that happens. This is an example of a Swedish client. Basically, they started with a first batch of just 100 bottles, and that was for them the validation of their market. And the year after, they did 1,000, 6,000 this year, and next year they are planning to do 15,000. So these are our 18 months milestones. We want to proceed with our growth, but we have a strong focus on internalization. After having validated our business model in Italy, we're planning to also open abroad. We have opened France 3 months ago, and we are now looking for other opportunities. But also one of the things we aim at is digitizing the spirits industry, because that's very old. And the way we do it is, of course, through a digital marketing approach, but also by developing an online configurator that would enable anyone to create their spirits from home. And we have gathered a community of professionals in the fields of spirits, and we are launching an academy to train them in the next weeks, and also by applying AI to the new spirits development. All right. Okay, so please meet our team, passionate founders, enthusiastic young people, and advisors that are helping us also in the fields of scaling. But we want to have an impact, so we have already done projects to support local producers with the excess of production. We work on sustainable packaging, and we have developed prototypes on low and non-alcoholic spirits. We have a project also on carbon-negative spirits. I can tell you more about that later. So what we're looking for now, strategic partners, distributors, so that we can continue our scaling process. And I would just close with a quote from Albert Einstein. Everyone knew it was impossible until a fool who didn't know came along and did it. So we are those fools who are planning to disrupt the spirits industry. And if you want to join us, I guess we can have a drink together. Thank you.
Thanks, Matteo. Yeah, there is a question down there. Always on the opposite side of the microphone.
Hi, thank you. I also have a couple of questions. I didn't really understand what exactly you do. Are you a platform, and then someone configures the spirit, and then someone produces it? Or are you a producer that manages the whole thing with the production and distribution?
Okay. So basically, the front end is that you have an idea, and you end up having your bottles on the shelf in 1 month. What we practically do is the R&D, and then we outsource the production once we have all the single elements of a spirit ready. So together we design the recipe. You tell us which is the bottle, what is the cork, and everything. But then we do not own a distillery, and we do not want to. We partner with distilleries that basically do the blending, the bottling, and all the dirty job we don't want to do.
Okay, then maybe this is a more complicated question. I don't know if you can answer it quickly, but then your take rate is like, I don't know, 20%. But then your customer life value is huge. So can you explain a little bit, go a bit more in detail?
So at the moment, the money we get at the moment is directly from the production, so from the bottles we sell to our clients. So the model is that we do not charge clients for the R&D because the recipes that we develop belong to the spiritual machine, which actually means that if you keep producing with the spiritual machine, we keep receiving money from your production. But in the example of the producer that I mentioned, if he wants to produce 50,000 bottles, then he has to fundraise, and then he's establishing a legal entity, and doing fundraising requires him to have the ownership of the recipe. So I'm happy to sell them the recipe and to receive royalties from the future productions that they have. I hope this is...
Thank you. Any other question? Yeah, there is one here.
Do you partner with like production facilities in the different markets, or it's okay? So otherwise, like it's a bit difficult with like the import, excise duties.
Exactly. So now we have opened in France, and the process of opening a new countries requires, on one hand, customer discovery to see if the proposition that we have applies the same way it applies in Italy, but also to find the right partners for what we were talking about before. So for the bottling, labeling, shipping, and everything. So it's not something difficult, but you have to find the right partner.
Yeah.
So basically, it's about that.
So you're looking for like strategic partners in production in the different markets.
Exactly, exactly. So for us, the strategic partners are not just those who are giving money. We are looking for partners that can help us also in the development of a new market, which practically are, for instance, partners in the production side, partners in the distribution, and partners in sales and marketing.
Okay.
How do you find your target customers, not for the production, but for the inventors who do have the idea of a certain new spirit? How do you get them?
I mean, we have many. So we work, for instance, with wine producers who want to use their wine to make something new out of that. Okay. It can be vermouth, it can be bitter, it can be low alcoholic hard seltzers, wine-based hard seltzers. But a huge trend that we are facing right now, for instance, is chefs and top bars, bartenders, which are the new stars, like the Michelin stars, Michelin-starred chefs. And for them, for instance, this is super for their brand. And let me give an example if I have 1 minute. So we started working with a Michelin-starred chef in Turin. We are from Turin. On November the 10th, he created his company, Del Mago Drinks. We developed for him 8 drinks, so 2 vermouth, 1 gin, 1 bitter, and 4 pre-mixed cocktails, Negroni, Vesper. November the 10th, 2020, so exactly after 1 year, the result is 8 products, 5 medals in international spirits competition, 3 batches of production for a total amount of 15,000 bottles, and a flagship store opened in Torino, the first of, I hope, many. So just from one client, that he was very good in developing also his brand, but for them is huge. And now we're starting with the second Michelin star, and we hope it's going to be.
I think you can help those inventors with your AI when it's functioning to find new combinations never ever anybody had thought about it.
Exactly.
And that would bring a new trend or a new drink at all to the market. And I think that's a very, very smart move. And in Berlin, you can find a lot of craftspeople who are just trying to invent something or have invented already, but don't have the means, to get your machine working for external production, for labeling, for, you should check all the legal things as well,
Exactly.
if you need some things that are not under health restrictions, things like that. That's also important. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matteo. I think, yeah, we can pass to the next startup, so thank you. So I told you we were talking about food tech. Maybe I should have said about drink tech in the last two cases. And now we switch to the blockchain. And I welcome on stage Isabella Dadeo, co-founder of Enisma. Yeah,
Enisma.
Sorry.
Yes.
Please, Isabella.
Okay, so good afternoon to everybody. My name is Isabella Dadeo, and I am the co-founder of the startup Enisma, and we take care of traceability in the agri-food supply chain. Our story comes from our town in Salerno, and we make olive oil for our family, and when we taste our oil, we are actually sure of what we are eating or we're tasting, but this is not sure for all the product that we are eating. So this leads us to our question, do we really know what we are eating? And the problem is, in Made in Italy is one of the most counterfeit market in the world. So every 2 Italian products sold, only 1 is authentic. And in Germany is the 3rd country in Europe where more false denominations of origins are sold. And this led us to make ourselves also some information about the people. And we asked 200 people what they thought about it. And half of them consider certifications unreliable. 70% would buy more of a product if they knew its history. And also 90% would like to know if the quality requirements are actually met. And so we are here to fill the void, and the power of Enisma is here. And we are an end-to-end food traceability system that provides a single view of the product life cycle. How do we do it? We have implemented in our platform 2 different frameworks, IoT sensors and blockchain ledger, in order to guarantee that the process are actually maintained throughout all the supply chain, and to whom we are addressed, to food producers, small and large farms, but we think that also traders, last distributions, and supermarkets and retailers can be interested. So let's arrive to the most interesting part, which is how do we actually do the traceability. As I said, we implemented 2 different frameworks, IoT sensors. So when we thought about the IoT management, we thought about a proactive approach. So in order to capture and monitoring in real time all the sensor, we thought about the IoT dashboard to improve the efficiency and to shorten reaction time. Of course, there's also some functionalities about the smart conditions, where you can set up some alarms to some threshold values. And then we arrive to the very supply chain. So let's think about the wine production. We can see some uses. And so the Enisma can help the actors to register all the process with the information, so with the IoT sensors, and registered on the blockchain ledger. But Enisma is not only traceability, because we thought about the fact that in the supply chain, one of the most things that is lacking is the lack of communication. So in the Enisma platform, you can also add some smart contracts. So let's say that our farmer wants to deliver his freshly grown grape to the transporter, and he says to inputs on a smart contract in the Enisma platform, and he says that these grapes has to be transported below a certain temperature, and this data is recorded on the blockchain ledger. So Enisma can play as a sort of guarantee of the 2 actors. And also he can set some business rules, so like date, time of shipment, commercial conditions, and certifications, also recorded in the blockchain. And of course, when the wine will arrive to the shop, the final consumers can enjoy his drink, his glass of wine, looking at the information about the wine, the product history of these grapes, and where the company is located, and so some information about it. But we also thought about the farmers. So actually, Enisma is a platform that lets you monitor all at 360 degrees your management. So you can visualize your field, keep track of your harvest, and fill out your country notebook. How do we do our business. So actually we sell licenses for the platform, and based on the various functionalities that you need, we identified 3 different tiers: Basic, Pro and Gold. And we are strategically positioned from our competitors because we have thought about an omni-comprehensive way of the traceability system. So it's not just blockchain and traceability in blockchain, but also a sort of management of your business, as well as some visual storytelling in order to add some perceived value to the product that you're selling. Where we are here, we're in the year 1, we are just finishing our software development. Right now, we are starting our product launch with the arriving of the 223 January. So for the new year, we are thinking about the product launch, and we're asking for some investment here in order to arrive for the June 2022 for some marketing and sales investment. And by the beginning of 2023 January, we are thinking about expansion of the team, maybe with some sales manager and some helping with lead generation. And by 2023, we are thinking about developing new features in the platform. The team is composed by me and my brother, but we are also having some external support like blockchain, user experience, and some people that are helping us with marketing and lead generation. And thanks for your attention. If you have any questions, I'm here to answer.
Thank you, Isabella. There is a question here, and then okay, you can start from there.
I have a question. So, how you, when I understand that correctly, you want to make the producer use your platform? It's basically, and then you want to have the end consumer using it as a subscription-based model, right?
Yeah. Okay. So we're actually implementing the software in order to food producer to use the platform, but also we are thinking about an app, so the final consumer can just scan the QR code, final QR code, and will land on the site of Enismaro where all the informations are.
And you have already producers who want to be joining this system?
Okay, at this very time we are in the phase of testing, and by January we are thinking about like the really product launch, but.
And do the producers also have to pay to be onboarded or not? Where you gonna generate your revenues from the end user perspective, or also from the producer's perspective?
We are selling a license for the very software, so the food producer will pay us monthly in order to have his product tracked and to manage his business. Okay. And so we make money out of the user, the food producer that is using. Like,
all right, thank you.
Yeah, how can you avoid that from user 1 to user 2? You had this very nice with a lorry at user 2, that the produce is mixed up.
I didn't
that they change the produce, and that you have a nice barcode on your bottle, you drink the wine, you see the field, but it's a totally different harvesting. You can't avoid that with smart contracts and everything. My belief is that you have to have into the produce, into the grapes or something, you have a biomarker. And if you have this biomarker, you can test it whether it's still coming from that field or not. Otherwise, you will be cheated during this transportation process. Okay. That's a big danger for that. Okay. For example, let me see asparagus in Berlin. We have Belitzer Spargel here. And there are 2 times more Belitzer Spargel sold in Berlin than are harvested in the fields. So, you see, it's real. Sure. And so you must, in a very, specific scientifically way, yes, guarantee that the produce you say that it is the original one. Otherwise, no one will pay for it. So think about that.
Yeah, but the platform is implemented, of course, with IoT sensors, so you can really track the data with IoT sensors. So it's.
Yeah, but what sensors? They know the field. Okay, there I have it. Then you pack it into a lorry, and then they change up the lorries, and then you go with a B quality to the rest of the production, and you never know it.
Okay.
It can be done only if you have a scientific proof brought into the original product that it is not exchanged by other quality.
Okay,
there are such biosensors in the runnings, but you have to speak to scientists for that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because otherwise blockchain is wonderful, yeah, but it can't guarantee that it is what you deliver,
sure, yes.
what you want to have. Okay, thank you.
Thanks for the advice.
A question down there?
Thank you. Hi, I'm Andrew from Silicon Alley. Great presentation. If I've understood you correctly, I'm not sure if the gentleman at the front did understand you correctly, there are IoT sensors in the trucks or lorries that are transporting the goods from one place to the next, right? That's how you guarantee that if the sensor's disturbed, then the quality of the produce is probably being changed along the way. But if the sensor maintains the right authenticity, then that is logged on the blockchain, and then, as I understand it, that's how you guarantee your authenticity.
Exactly. Yes, because in the platform, I think I didn't really understand the point, but in the platform you actually have the IoT management, so you can really keep track of all the supply chain in order to maintain and to see what is happening.
So my question is, and my background's more in circular economy, is if you're sending these IoT sensors in one direction as a distribution, how are you then recollecting these IoT sensors, and what are, like, do they need to be recollected and sent back to your farms?
I didn't understand the question.
The IoT sensors that you have with the products, do they need to be recollected at the end of a distribution network and then sent back?
No, we provide the IoT sensors.
Right, but the sensor goes in a crate of grapes, for example.
Yes.
Eventually that gets delivered to someone.
Yeah.
Do they then need to send that crate and the sensor back to the original producer?
No, it's just they are implemented in every step of the process. You don't have to bring it back. It's just yours.
Cool, thank you.
Any other question? Okay, so thanks, Isabella. And last but not least, EZ Lab, Edoardo Erlini, please, on stage. We are still talking about blockchain. So, please.
Yeah, a lot of blockchain here in Berlin. However, we are talking about blockchain, we are talking about blockchain for the agri-food sector, of course. But why we're talking about this? Because claims are really, really important in today's market. They are growing every year. For example, origin claims like made in Italy is growing inside the Italian market and in the whole world. It's important to guarantee that the claim is true, but how you can guarantee the claim is true? This is the question, and this is why we have blockchain. And it's not only about origin claim. There are a lot of different claims. There is, for example, environmental claims, there are social claims, there are resource management claims. But the one with the most growing market is the traceability claim. What is the difference? The difference is that if I put a label, for example, a certification on a product, I can't see the data. The only thing I can see is the certification. But I want to see the data, I want to access the data, I want the data to be transparent, reliable. I don't want the company to be able to change the data. This is what blockchain is about. It's about guaranteeing the data. It's about transforming a self-declaration in unchangeable data for every kind of claim. This is an example of schematic of true. What is important is true. The consumers need to trust the producer. And how you can do this? Well, you can do in multiple environments, economic data, environmental data, or social data. But if you want the real trust, you need to do in all of these fields. It's really, really important because data are an extra value, are an added value of the product. We are not going to sell just products today. We are going to sell products together with data. This is the real value. And data must be reliable, must be transparent, must be true. If you are going to lie with the data, you are going to damage your reputation. And there is nothing you can do to remedy. It's really, really difficult once you lie on a data on the blockchain because everyone can check it. You cannot change it. This is the value of the blockchain. The control of the data is not in the hand of the owner of the data. It's in the hand of everyone, and everyone can check it. And this is really important. The real cost is not about to use the blockchain, but is about refusing the use of blockchain, because by refusing the use of blockchain, you refuse to give more value to your data. And this is a cost. This is an example of the use of the blockchain. You have transparency on your transactions, you have the immutability of the registered data, and then you can have a distributed data sharing. This is what the consumer wants, the direct access to the data. There are a lot of data, okay, in the agrifood sector, and it's difficult to give all this kind of data to the market and to the consumer. But it's important because, for example, in the wine sector, there are multiple data that are interesting. The origin, the grapes, all the treatments, they are really, really important. And the consumer wants it all and wants an easy access to this. An easy access that we give with the digital labeling. Why digital labeling? Because it's easy to use. Everyone with the smartphone can access to the data. Everyone can check it in a simple way, more simple than going directly in the blockchain. You can check directly on the blockchain, but it's complicated, it's difficult. So how we work? We used to put the data inside, we take the data from the ERP directly with the API from the company. So the data are the data coming from the company. We are not going to contest the origin of the data. We are just going to use the data because nobody wants to lie on the blockchain. Because if you lie on the blockchain, it's a really, really big risk because your reputation risks a huge damage. And then we can use our platform and we transform with the blockchain, and then we put directly in the hand of the consumers. They can access directly the data. And then we collect data back from the consumer and giving the data, commercial marketing data, directly to the company. This is another project we are building. This is a project we are making with the European Space Agency. We are presenting the next week in Oxford, so this is really a preview. And we are using satellite images with multispectral images taken from satellite to feed a blockchain platform, transform the data into output to be used for creating vegetative maps, can be used for irrigation, fertilization, pesticide, and much more. One of our early adopters is a German company, BASF, the multinational company of chemicals. It's one of our customers, and we are building this platform with them. This is just for giving a panoramic view of the blockchain. It's not just agriculture and food, because everywhere you need data to be transmitted in a transparent and secure way, you can have blockchain. You can use it for sustainability, of course, but you can generate trust, you can generate value of the product and for the brand. You can guarantee the data, and most of all, you can guarantee the efficiency. This is the most complicated step because it needs smart contracts and a lot of practice from the company. It's not easy, but this is the future of blockchain. So my time is over, so I'm going to skip the data about the smart and precision farming, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Eduardo. Any question? Yes, please.
Hi, sorry. again, I didn't really exactly understand what you exactly are doing. Are you like surveilling from a satellite perspective to make sure that what people are saying that they're doing in the legal contracts is true, or are you the blockchain platform where someone closes a contract saying we irrigated this way or we did things this way?
Yeah,
and then in that case, why do you need the satellite for?
Yes. What we are doing is working with the data. We are not using IoT sensor from ourselves. We are integrating IoT sensor from other company to have the data put inside the software. This software is a field management, a crop management, or a transforming management that is using the blockchain technology to ensure the data, to guarantee the data. So what we are doing is using a software blockchain powered. So we are not interested in the question is, because it's always the same question, but how you can be sure that the data are real, that someone is not faking about the data, is not our business and is not our problem. It's a problem about the producer, why you want to lie about the data, and how you can survive if you lie about the data and someone discover you. The answer is you cannot survive, because the blockchain has also a legal value. If you lie on the blockchain, it's like to go with a notary for an act and lie in front of a notary after he puts a stamp. You are responsible in front of the law about your declaration. This is the power of the blockchain. It's not just a declaration inside my website that I can change every time I want. It's something that I cannot control. It's something that has a real legal value.
I think she got the point. Any other question?
Fine, thank you.
Okay, so thank you. And this was the last of the 9 pitches. So I hope you enjoyed. And last thing I want to add is that a geographical provenience of the startups, since it's interesting that it's not all from the north or all from the south, but it's 3 from the north, 3 startups from the center, and 3 startups from the south of Italy. So that is quite rare to have this balance, because, as you know, there are some regions who are usually more active in terms of startups, but so that is probably another very interesting point of the selection made by the embassy, which also wanted to have a geographical measurement of the provenience of the startup. So thank all of you for being here, and I hope that in the following 30 minutes before the starting of the next panel, you can have some network between all the startups that you have listened to, and maybe also an occasion of partnerships. And we are here. I think that in a while you will have some coffee, maybe. I don't know. So thank all of you. And we will meet again here at 5:30 p.m.